Toot. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Antonio Neves. I'm the founder of ThinkAction, where it's all about transforming potential into exceptional performance. Right now, I'm happy because I'm being joined by a good friend of mine. This is Nat Koloc. Nat is the managing partner of ReWork. Now, ReWork is based out in Boulder, Colorado, and Nat has blessed us with a few minutes of his time today. How you doing, Nat?
Doing very well. Thank you, Antonio.
Yeah. Before we talk about rework, tell me about where you are right now because I know you live somewhere that I've visited called the Village. What's the Village?
Yeah, so the Village is kind of a co-living, co-working space in Boulder. We founded it, the founding team of ReWork and some of the guys who run the Unreasonable Institute founded it last year. And so we've got a house, we've got people who come over and work during the day, kind of an office space. And we actually just set up a second house, so there's a Village 2 in town now as well, because the vision for the Village is really having heart-centered entrepreneurs and people who are working on kind of impact projects there to support each other, to work together.
So what's it like? I mean, I've had the opportunity to work there, so I could tell people what it's like. But for you, when you get to show up, wake up every morning, and have all these different entrepreneurs and team members around you, is it like a big jolt of energy? Does it make you better?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like taking the idea of working from home to a new level. It's bringing in a lot of the support and camaraderie and kind of systems that you'd find in an office, but in a comfortable setting, really low key setting. So like I said, we've got people who come during the day. We've got people who live here who also work here.
Yeah, and for all you guys out there watching this who are committed to doing everything alone, don't do that. Don't go hole up in the library by yourself. Don't go to the back of KFC and do your work by yourself. Get surrounded by other people. I used to be really, really good at that. Me against the world. That didn't work out too well. Anyhow, Nat Koloc, you're the managing partner of ReWork. It's all about helping folks find meaningful work. So just briefly, what is ReWork?
Yeah. So ReWork, as you said, where our whole mission is to help people find meaningful work. For us, that means helping talented professionals build careers that inspire them. And specifically, that means we help them find jobs and projects at companies who have a mission that goes beyond profitability. So companies that are working on social issues, environmental issues, like that.
What led you to start this company? I mean, did you have an experience working in jobs that weren't so meaningful?
Actually, kind of the opposite. Well, sort of. So I came out of college. I graduated in 2008 and just spent 2 years basically struggling to figure out. I was really looking for a job that I knew had tangible impact, that was going to pay the bills, and was part of a longer career progression. So I could see down the road, like nothing seemed to fit. I mean, I worked for 11 or 12 different companies in that first year. It was so difficult to figure out where. I just wanted to apply my talents. I just was saying, look, I'm pretty smart. I have these skills from school. I know I have a lot to learn. Just where can I go to sign me up? Send me to the front line. I don't know where that is. And organizations like Teach for America, I think, do a pretty good job of harnessing that feeling. And I was looking for that, but I just happened to not be that interested in education. I wanted to work on sustainability or some other environmental issues. So I spent a couple of years trying to figure out like what could support me, like what kind of organization might there be to help me channel this energy. And that's what gave us the idea for ReWork.
Tell me a little bit about the individuals for your talent pool, who you're looking to recruit to partner with companies. With Think Action, this. I work with what I call go-getters, top performers. These are hungry individuals, man, that wanted to be in that corner office yesterday, and I help them get there and help them get great results in their careers. So if a person wants to get into the ReWork talent pool, can I assume you're not looking for that individual who's looking to clock in, clock out, and that's it? You're looking for someone who wants a little bit more, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much right. So, and again, you kind of hinted at a talent pool. So the way our company works is we have a pool of talent that people apply to get into. It is competitive. The acceptance rate right now is somewhere between 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. And basically, you're right. We're looking for people who kind of fit this Venn diagram of I'm really good at what I do, and I really care about the work that I'm doing having some kind of higher impact. So on the one hand, it's vague enough that we've got marketers, we've got people from finance, we've got people from design, but it's also specific enough that when you see it, like this person's truly excellent and they are committed. You can tell they're committed and they're going to give 110% at a company where they are aligned with that mission. So that's who we're looking for our talent.
As you mentioned, there's like an application process. I've been in that house with you right there where you and some of your partners have conducted interviews, and these interviews are extremely in-depth via Skype, and they also do stuff online beforehand. when you have like a 20 or just a 25% acceptance rate, what would you say is consistent about the individuals that do make it into the rework talent pool?
Yeah, I can tell you what we look for. So it's basically four things. The first is that they've been successful at what they've attempted. So, we have people coming in applying who are just out of school. We have people who are applying, the average age is more like 25 to 35. And we've got people who are 50, who've had a whole career and they're looking for the next steps. So what we're looking for is that the things they've set out to do, whether they've been hired to do them or they've just, entrepreneurially wanted to make something happen, have they been successful? What outcomes did they create? So for example, they were hired to run a 500-person event, they pulled it off, things like that. Pretty concrete, tangible outcomes. The second is a demonstration of values in their work. So whether it's evidence they did volunteering or they understand the impact sector, or they've had some way of showing us that they are serious enough to know what's going on and to spend some of their time, even already, on trying to make that work for them in their career, if that makes sense. The third thing is domain expertise. So this is to say, whatever field you're in, whatever discipline, whatever your skill set is, that you understand not only the core fundamentals of that field, but that you have some idea of the forward-looking lens. Like, what is the leading edge? Who are the thought leaders? You understand what that field looks like in motion. That makes sense? And then the last thing is coming highly recommended, which is, at the end of the day, for a company that's all about talent, one of the most core things you can do is ask, basically, who is somebody who's well-respected in your field, who will vouch for your quality of work and your character. And that's what we ask.
Okay, great. So folks, if you guys want to apply to get into the ReWork talent pool, right here at the bottom of this post, there's a link to their website for that information. On the flip side of that, Nat, once you do get accepted into that ReWork talent pool, who are some of the companies that you guys are working with? I know that many of them are social impact driven.
That's right, an environmental impact. Yeah. So the first quick answer to that is on our website, rework.jobs. We have a list of some of the sample clients people can check out categorically. So we work with both companies that are based in the US and based abroad. And both in terms of impact, we've got social and environmental. So some examples, there's an organization in Pittsburgh called the 9 Mile Run Watershed Group. They basically protect an urban watershed. So it's about a local urban environmental protection. That's one example of environmental. We also work with a company that makes home solar systems that they distribute in Kenya. So that's an international environmental kind of energy piece. In terms of the social side, we've got a company in Chicago that does financial literacy to low-income students, as well as a company in India that does basically smallholder dairy farmer income maximization. So a real spectrum across the board.
Right. So tell me this, you guys have done extremely well with getting press out. And I know you haven't been aggressive about seeking that press. It has come to you, Fast Company, Huffington Post. We can go on and on and on. So what would you say is that sweet spot, the void that you guys hit, not just for employers, why employers are excited to work with you, but even the talent pool, why they're like saying, thank you, ReWork, for creating this. What void have you filled?
I think maybe there's kind of an emotional component to the talent message and the talent voice that we're finding, and that's the original feeling that we had that led us to create this company. It's basically a feeling of this is important. I mean, this is our lives we're talking about. This is us becoming masters at some kind of skill or some kind of domain, and we want to apply that in a way that leaves a legacy. And people don't. This is something that's still not being talked about in a systematic way. It's not being talked about really in the mainstream media or at any kind of like political level. It's just the narrative is always about jobs, which is super important. But this idea of having a meaningful twist. I mean, it's in the air now. It's something people want to talk about and don't have an outlet. So I think that is why we've seen such a strong interest in terms of word of mouth on our talent applications, for example. And when we are talking to media outlets, I think they can tell that that's a story that will be of interest to people. At the very least, it's interesting to note this is happening. People care about it.
Okay. You just touched on this briefly, but this is going to be my last question for you, Nat. With your work with ReWork and starting this and the work that you and your team go about executing every single day, why is this meaningful for you?
Why is it meaningful for me? Well, I think that, there's kind of two things going on. One is the personal dynamic. There's kind of the personal dynamic and there's what's going on in the world. And the personal dynamic is that, as I said, this is our lives. This is people's, you spend in some cases half your time, some cases more than half your time working. Why can't that be a great experience? Why can't that be a fulfilling, kind of soulfully engaging, regenerative, energy-giving experience? Why does it have to be something that you're kind of doing to pay the bills, or because you're doing something you're supposed to be doing because your parents said you should, or expectations on you, things like that. So that's the personal dynamic. The world dynamic is that we live in a world where we have big problems that need to be solved. I mean, we have big social problems, and we have pressing environmental issues as well. And now there are companies who are literally being founded to address those problems. I mean, there's very smart people with very specific strategies, earned revenue streams, for-profit models that are coming to address those problems. For the first time, we actually may have the tools to fix those problems, to overcome them. And those companies need top talent. They have to have the best people working for them. So it's kind of an issue of, where do you put your muscle? You've got this whole system that you want to change. You've got the whole world you want to improve. Where do you allocate your time? And I think that we see talent and the talent market as being a huge lever. It's a huge driver of, it's a powerful piece if you can work it the right way.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Nat Koloc, ReWork, for making time with me today, man. For you guys want more information, you guys can go to rework.jobs. And listen, Nat and I were big proponents of wearing color. Look at that shirt that he's wearing right there, that color. Look at this color right here. Don't be afraid to wear color, people. Right, Nat?
That's right. Got to keep it fresh.
Got to keep it fresh. Rework.jobs. This is Nat Koloc. Thanks a lot, man. You're an individual that makes me better, and I look forward to THINQACTION and ReWork doing some fun work together. And we'll talk soon, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Antonio. Anytime.